Give me one. Give me a brief moment. There we go. All right. So, thank you for coming. So today I'm going to we're going to be covering the concepts national citizenship and its application process. All right. This is for clarity for those who are seeking to correct their status, for those who are intending to assert their rights, right? We're going to go over these concepts and procedures so that we can better understand, right, what we're doing out here as well. We're going to unfold into the realization of the authority that comes behind being yourself in this capacity. All right. Give me a moment. Find my water. There you are. All right. Alhamdulillah. No. We'll put it down over here. All right. Who's ready? Put a one in the chat if you're ready. All right. Appreciate you, Dare to Dream. Absolutely do. I appreciate you. We don't wish for this to slide down. All right. All right. All right. So, when you're correcting your status, it means that you are attempting to fulfill the proper role that acknowledges your authority, right? And so we're going to first start with the answer, and then we're going to work our way back to the question. Okay? word for today is principle. Okay. So we must learn how to act in this capacity. Okay, as a principle. Well, what is a principle? What does it mean, the word principle? Chief. So what does the word chief mean? Right? Oh, I'm the chief, or I'm the chief, or I'm chief this, or I'm chief that. Chief means first and foremost. This is what the title of chief expresses. The principle means leading, so it's out front. Highest in rank or degree. Most important or considerable. Principle means primary. It means original. Principle means the source of authority or the source of that which is right. This is the status that Americans are in search of to correct and establish for themselves on the record. So this is what we're looking for. We're looking for principle. Well, wait a minute. Principle. Prince. What does the word prince mean in law? What is a prince or a princess, if you will? In a general sense, it's a sovereign. So principality is talking about sovereignty. It is the ruler of a nation or state. All right. It is the chief or the principal of any body of organized individuals. Okay. So to be the principal is to stand in royalty. It is to stand in your own authority. Okay. This identifies a principle. I am a prince. I am heir, H-E-I-R, to the Most High. I am the manifestation of the Father. This is your sovereignty. Understand that your sovereignty relates to the whole group as one. You cannot stand alone. claiming sovereignty over a people. You can be sovereign by yourself, but with no people, there is no kingdom. There is no recognition. And so we learn that a prince is the ruler of a nation or state. For the Moorish Americans, when we look at this here, prince, we should bear in mind this. Sultan. What do we call our ruler of Morocco? The ruler of Morocco, right, which Morocco would be a nation, is called a sultan. And so this implication of rulership is again referring to the office of one who is acting as the principal. When you see these Moors out here, particularly talking about their sultans, alhamdulillah, all they're really expressing is that they're the principal, in the same manner that we have our American Indian brothers and sisters who call themselves chiefs. So that's just this is something for those Moors out here who are running around thinking that we're supposed to be sultans. That's a beautiful expression, but understand that we all can't be sultans of an empire, but we can all be principal over our estates. We can't all be chiefs to another, but we could be the principal interest in our own affairs. Okay? Just desired to bring that up, right? So, another expression. Remember, prince meant sovereign. Sovereign. Right? So, what are we looking for? We're looking for sovereignty. Within citizenship. Does anybody know where sovereignty resides? Sovereignty resides with the people. So you can't be by yourself. You can't be a sovereign citizen. This is just to clear up our concepts, okay? So that we can realize what's really on the menu when we eat, right? If sovereignty resides with the people, then the sovereignty and citizenship must reside with the state. This is my sovereignty. What's that say? People. All right. With the state, absolutely. This is my sovereignty. This This exercises my sovereign authority as one of the people sharing the same state of mind, the same title of principle. I am the teacher, I am the professor, I am the principal. You dig? So, with all of that being said, anyone who is out here teaching you that your sovereignty is outside of the state citizenship, they either do not understand civics, or they are feeding off of your ignorance of you not knowing civics. If you wish to be sovereign, then you have to be of a society. All societies are corporations. All of them. There's never been a body politic of people that have not been under a contractual agreement. It is an organized body of people. In order to be sovereign in the states, you have to be a constituent member of that body politic. So it's all about being business minded. It's all about being corporate. For those of you who cry about, oh, the corporation, you don't know yourselves. You run the corporation. Either you run it, let me rephrase that. Either you administrate or someone else administrates. Simple as that. All right? What am I telling you? Oh man, he trying to tell us that, we should engage in all of this commercial activity. Yes, that is exactly what I am saying to you. I'm telling you that the only way out of debtorship is by going into creditorship. This is the way, like the Mandalorian. This is the way. So, let's figure out what is this, right? We know that it is what type of documents? That's what we're going to do. It's a passport. So it gives us safe passage commercially between ports. It gives you safe passage to do commerce. Because remember that this is a business. It's all corporation. So your passport gives you safe passage, right? Commercially between ports. Municipalities are ports. Cities are ports. Counties are ports. States are ports. This is commercial on land. Now there's commercial off land as well. When you go to the edge of, we'll say, the East Coast, right? Maine, all of them outlying, right? When you're on the port, they all have ports where goods and services are presented. They're registered. They're accounted for. They are given value. And they are shared amongst the people safely. There's no pirateers. There are no pirateers out here. All right. What else does this say on it? This says name. So this is also an identity. This document establishes one's identity, right? One's identity we'll just leave it different now. It establishes your identity. This is your real ID. This is a real ID. So the person that this is identifying must be real, must be seen, recognized, acknowledged. Because this is an agreement. This is an agreement. This is your claim. So it's identifying, again, someone who is the principal, right? It has the word nationality on here. And so it is a national document. It's a national citizen. Real identity. Okay? This means that your rank. This is identifying your rank in society. Well, what rank are we all looking for? We desire the rank of the principal. I've had people say, "Oh, you're not a real professor." I'm a principal. All right? I'm not the professor. I'm the principal of the school. All right? Anywho. So this is a national identity card. That's what I wish to focus on. And when we look up the word national, we find that it's pertaining or relating to the nation as a whole. When we look up nation, we find that it is a group of people, a group of men who have come together, organized as a jural society. When we ask ourselves, what is a state? The word state has the same implication as nation. It is an aggregate of men or people who have come together, organized to form a body politic. So we're talking business. If you don't wish to be a part of the game, if you don't wish to sail on smoother shores on your ship, then stay on the dock. Stay on the dock. I'm just sitting on the dock of the bay. Yeah, just keep sitting over there. Because some people have got on board the citizenship. Okay? What is a citizen? A citizen is one who is a recognized member of a city or of a society. Okay, so again, I'm trying to express to you all that we're dealing with commercial business. We're dealing with corporate business. And if you're scared, say you're scared. If you're scared, go to church. Right? Go get the bejesus in you. Right? But if you're willing to come out here and be Jesus instead of be Jesus, if you're out here ready to be justice, if you're ready to be the principal, right, then you're going to have to put down your bags, right? Put down everything that weighs you down. Pick up your cross and follow me. I think Tupac said, oh no, I'm sorry, Jesus said that. Anywho, so we're talking business, y'all. The concept, there we go. The concept of national sovereignty is founded upon the laws of merchant. It's all business. Remember, we're supposed to be about our Father's business. So if the Father is the king and you're son or daughter of the Father, then again, your position is prince or princess, but prince, the both. Well, we got here. I appreciate that. Crime is business. Absolutely. Crime is business. It's all business. Oh, I'm glad to be the one to give it to you. You said you needed this today. That's word. So the concept of national sovereignty, right, of national authority to assert yourselves is founded upon the laws of merchant, right? Myrrh means love, chant means word. This is the claim. It's all business. And again, if we're to be about our Father's business, in this sense, my Father is the Constitution, and me being the Son makes me the constituent member. If I'm supposed to be about my Father's business, I have to show that I'm employed. I have to show that I'm being employed by the Father. I'm glad to be the pieces of the puzzle that you've missed. Okay? So, here come some instructions that are tailored to Moorish American principality, but they are universal, and so whatever faith, whatever commercial authority, religion that you fall under, it is a universal understanding, and then you should be able to adjust it accordingly. Okay? So, now we're going to go over instructions. First instruction is to declare your nationality. What is nationality? Does anyone know what nationality is? Let's go to our book of spells, shall we? Okay. Does anybody know what it means to what is nationality? Let me share with you. I don't even need this book. Nationality is that quality or character role, position, identity, the principle. It is that quality or character which arises from the fact, meaning it's on record. There's a fact, there's evidence of a person's belonging to a nation or state. That quality or character which arises from the fact of a person's belonging to a nation or state. Well, this person belongs to a nation, to a state. This person does not belong to a nation or state. This person belongs to this person. And this person administrates this person. And this people has recognition in their person. This is to be secured in your person. This is the debtor. This is the creditor. Persons. Personalities. All right, so how can we say what's another way that we've heard declare your nationality? National Declaration, right? Or the Pledge of Allegiance. Well, that word pledge sounds mighty commercial to me. Pledge. What is a pledge? Let's take a look in the book. What is a pledge? Because what am I doing? It sounds like it's a verb, something that I'm supposed to be doing. So it's an action. You know. Let's find out what the word pledge. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Oh, no, that's not it. There we go. I'm like, that says pledge here. All right, so let's listen into this, right? A pledge is a special deposit of personal property by way of security for the performance of another act. Did y'all catch that? Here we go. It says in the law of bailment, a bailment of goods to a creditor as security for some debt or engagement. So this is the debtor and this is the creditor. This was established off of this. This is what is being pledged as collateral to be recognized here. You're taking this person and you are, I know that you all, there's some out there who talk about necromancy and all of that. Look, man, you're raising the dead because that's what creators do. So you're raising the dead. You're saying that what once was lost is found. What was blind now sees. All right. So, Pledge of Allegiance. So, we're pledging. Oh, you know what? I didn't even. Yeah, yes, I did. Listen. What is a pledge? A bailment or delivery of goods. So these are goods because these are the assets. If you understand accounting. By a debtor to his creditor. So these goods were given to me by my debtor to me as the principal, as the creditor, to be kept till the debt is discharged. You can only discharge on the creditor side, on the national side, on the state side, not on the stateless side. You can only redeem yourself under this identity. Oh man, what about authenticating the birth certificate? Oh, what about filling out the WAB? What about the trust? Everything. This will be on YouTube after I've gone off. You can catch this as well as all of my other lectures. Link in bio for the YouTube channel. You can catch them all on the YouTube channel. This will definitely be there for your review in case you've missed anything. All right? Okay. Kind of lost momentum there. Give me a moment to drink. Oh yeah. So now let's deal with the concept of trusts and estates. Because as some of us are aware, both of these make reference to an estate. This is personal, this is real. This is public and this is private. And if there is an estate involved, then there is already a trust involved by the order of law, the natural order of procedure. If there is an estate, then there is a trust. Because there's people out here, oh man, set up your trust in a foreign. No. I mean, yes, you can do these things, but not for this. For this, it is already done for you. We're going to show you clear thinking, right? So. If you're aware that there is a public trust established in order to administrate your public affairs, type 1 in the chat. Not if. We don't use if in this. Since when you were born, your estate was registered with the state, with your state of birth or state of origin, whatever. All right. So since whenever you were born, your estate was registered with your state of origin, then your state already has a trust agreement in order to ordain and establish your estate. So now let's take a look at this. It says, when you were born, your estate was registered with your state of origin. Then your state already has a trust agreement. If they've given you, see, so as I read this certification of birth, this is a registry, right? I'm looking at it, and it comes from the Department of Pennsylvania, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So that means that the Commonwealth of the state of Pennsylvania has issued me an estate. So then there has to be a trust. Now, this was issued to me in the public. So in the public, it is not secure. Anyone could put their hands in it. It's vulnerable. Okay? Now, this is all about business management, and the foundation of any business is its accounting. Okay? So, for those of you who do not know the equation in accounting, the very first equation that you learn in accounting is that debits always equal credits. And so if the debit is the public side, then there has to be a credit in the private. Okay? So when your estate was issued to you through the public trust, there was also a private trust in the state that needed to be redeemed in order for it to be recognized. Okay? So you have the stateless in the public, and you have the stateful in the private. Does anybody know which side of this ledger one is to be redeemed? Is it on the left side? Is it in the west? Or is it on the right side? Or is it in the east? Absolutely. Every state and trust, let me read. Every state or estate has a private trust. Absolutely. No, it is on the way. It is in the east. The answer is in the east. Okay? You have debits. Debits are, a debit is property. This is a debit I owe you. Okay? Now, when you receive it, it crosses from my hands to your hands. And so it went from the west to the east. This was the exchange, the mutual exchange. Okay? This is the side of redemption. This is the side of revenue or revenuing or creating value, revaluing, reevaluating. All right. So the debit was a pull in the negative. This is a push in the positive. Okay. So again, I pledged this as collateral, and I was redeemed. I'm standing up. I'm upstanding. I'm upright. I'm independent, meaning that I don't need someone to administrate on my behalf. I'm fearless because I'm able to stand on what I know. And I care for my loved ones. Absolutely. Accord and satisfaction. Right. The only one with so when y'all go to court, y'all are having these issues where people are saying that you owe them a debt because they're charging this instrument. This is how you discharge. You stand as the principal. As the principal of this person, I demand, I be respectful. I request a review of all of the facts into the evidence on this account that I may audit, that I may see, review, consider. And if there is no consideration found, nigga, get that shit out my face. We're going to settle, dismiss, settle, because now you violated me. If you came saying that you owe me and you already drew from it, and you saying you owe, and we find out that you didn't owe, so now someone has to redeem the debits that were taken out. Well, they can't redeem it because there's no evidence in the account. We're dealing with accounting, corporate business, right? This is your auditor, okay? Now, you don't necessarily need this. You can stand on it, understanding it. But this is evidence. This is facts entered into the record that are unrebutted. This stands as sovereign and truth in commerce. Okay? So, again, the reason I brought up the private estate or the public estate, there has to be balance. This is what balance is, or I've even heard this expression. Here's another expression, right? This is how we zero the account. This is how we settle the account. The terms and conditions they have run their course. It has been settled. I am now free from servitude. Okay? We zero out the account. We cancel out the account. We balance the account. What is the account? You have the debit account and you have the credit account. So the national citizen acting as the principal party would have to be acting as the creditor. Now, mind you, as the defendant, you have no say. But as the creditor, you have pro say. Catch that. All right, so instructions. Fill out DS-11 form. If your child has not received a social security number, then you would fill out the DS-10 form. And recognize that when you do that, they're going to issue that individual a public estate, period. It needs to have a public estate in order for the private estate to be there. Because you have people saying, just fill out the DS-10, put your religious information in the back of your Bible, your Quran or whatever, and use that as evidence. Yeah, that's fine. If your mother and father did not register yourself, understand that this is a fucking registry. You're making the registry. Okay? So fill out that. What is that DS11 form? I'm going to tell you what that DS11 form is. It's a right of claim application. Just like your passport is more than a passport, the passport form is more than a passport form. This is literally a right of claim application. Well, what is the claim? That you're not this person. That you're not this person. That this person actually belongs to you. And that you have another person that manages and maintains and overlooks this person. And that both of these persons belong to you, the people, who are acting in the capacity corporately as persons. So you're telling them, hey, everything that's mine, give it to me. I know this is a financial instrument. I know this is a bond. And where there's a bond, there's a word. So there was some type of contract, some written out. This has some type of financial value. And if these are debits, then I need the account to redeem the credits. So all of that being foreign nationals and non-U.S. citizens, this is a U.S. citizen. This is also a U.S. citizen. So what's the difference? One's stateless and one is in law. One is with the state. One with the state. So if you don't wish to be a U.S. citizen, that's on you. You're saying I'm not well, if you're not a U.S. citizen, you're not one of we the people. Because we the people are the citizens of the United States. That means a whole bunch of states come together as one. No matter how you read United States, it means states coming together as one. So you have all the stateless debtors coming together. All right, well, that's the money pool. These are all the assets. Are you the asset or are you the liable party? Are you the asset or are you the equitable owner? Are you the asset or are you the motherfucking principal? Ask yourself that. Right? This is the law. You know what I'm saying? You have your gurus out there who are telling you all of this, do this, do that, do this, do that. Drew Ali showed me how to just get right to it, mind you. All of those processes, all of those procedures. Yes. So the whole issue with, I've heard this before, right? I've heard this rationale where they say the all caps name is not the living being. It's not. You're not a person. You have a person. You have two of them. So when you fill out the application, you're going to write it as right? This is the name, right? Right? This is how I wrote mine. So I wrote mine this way, right? Now, in order for me to have my character, because nationality is not quality or character, my character's name is going to be in all caps. What is nationality? That quality or character which arises from the fact of a person's. A person is a character. So you have characters. Your character, this is to show which character. Look, I'm Michael Keaton, right? This is Bruce Wayne. This is Batman. Both of these are in union, but neither of these are me. I pour into these characters. These are my characters. Okay? Right. The fiction is your property. Absolutely. Acts, statutes, articles, right? We're talking about acting out scenarios, like scenes in a play or a movie. You're never the character, but there you go. But you're in character. So with the cap's name is showing that you are in character. For Michael, you could go to the website and go to the economic security tab, and it'll show you this information here. Right? So with that though, let me all right. So you here, let me all right. No, I'm going to say this part, right? So you would fill out the DS-11 form. As a matter of fact, in this book here, we have the DS-11 form for your review, so that you can really look at, what's going on before you get to it. Okay, I'm not going to really comment on that, Walter Adams, because I'm not going into that information. I'm really just trying to show y'all what to do. Thank you, Melanin. Thank you, Mel. Thank you, Carbon. All right. So we have here the DS-11 form. Walter. You know what? Not even gonna worry about it. Anywho, so this form, this is your claim form. I appreciate the love, 100. This is the claim form, right? And on this claim form, right, it's asking you for personal information. The personal information is going to be processed. It's going to process your claim. And when your claim is fully processed, you are going to receive the recognition. Right? So it asks for the social security number. Why? Because that's the claim number. That's the policy number. What do you mean? Oh, don't give them the social. Don't give them the policy number. The people who are telling you not to do these things, they either don't. I guess since ain't nobody really tapping too much, but all right, we back. The people who tell you don't give the social security number, either they don't understand that they're making a claim or they don't want you to make the claim. It's really that simple. It is. All right. If you've ever filed a claim, an insurance claim, because these are insurance claims, that's what you're making, an insurance claim. You're redeeming your credits, right? They ask you for the policy number to verify the identity of the account holder. So if you don't give them the social, you're not making the claim. If you give them a fake social, if you if you say you don't have a social, right? If you and again, this is why people are doing all of those unnecessary processes, so that they don't have. They say don't use the Social Security. Why am I not going to use the Social Security and redeem my motherfucking credits? Why wouldn't I do that? Again, this is concept, right? So, anywho, anyone who's telling you not to use that social, they either don't understand the process or they are fishing you out of the pond to eat you slowly and your finance. Okay, so anywho, you give the Social Security number. Okay, for the Moorish Americans, the name that is in box number 1, that's going to be your name and creditor title. Mine is Davis L. Brandon Davis L. All right. In box number 9, you're going to give the name on the birth certificate. Okay, so box number 9 is identifying the debtor. Box number 1 is identifying the creditor. Okay. I've heard people say use rural delivery, non-rural delivery, put brackets. That's just not necessary. It's really not necessary. All right. The only thing that you should really consider is A, about giving that social security number, and B, when it asks of the citizenship, it asks, is your mother or father a U.S. citizen? And it is U.S. citizen in all caps. Now, some will tell you, hey, a U.S. citizen is an artificial entity. Well, we just went over the fact that there's 2 of them. Okay. Now, I have been informed in the past that in older versions of the DS-11 form, there was an option between U.S. citizen and state citizen, and this is no longer on the application. I verified Edward. This is Edward verified. I verified that information. This is a truth. So, based upon that fact, right? Now that state citizen is not on the paper, this is why you mark no to U.S. citizenship. Because if you're not a U.S. citizen, then you could only be a state citizen. The U.S. citizen is the stateless citizen. The national citizen is the citizen who is equal with the state. You're stateful, not stateless. They're within the state, not without the state. Someone asked that question. Okay, that's cool. All right, so you're going to mark that your mother and father are not U.S. citizens because you are what your ancestors were. And so if your mother and father were debtors, then all you could ever be is a debtor. That's what it's asking. Another thing, You hear people say don't use the abbreviations, and that's perfectly fine if you don't use the abbreviations, right? Rather than using if you see here, it has state box. This finger, my apologies. Right, and so rather than using the state box, you would write your state in the country box. You would bypass the state box. Like I wrote Pennsylvania, USA in this box. All right. Some of the nuances that I fulfilled, right? So right here, right here, I'd written without prejudice over top, right? But I did not sign it until I was in front of um, the officer at the post office, right? Um, so that's the all right. Okay. Hold on. So again, according to Moorish Americans, and this is going to reflect when I write out my affidavit, right? It asks, um, it asks your occupation. As a Moorish American, what is our occupation? We find in chapter 10, I believe it is, verses 22 through 25 of the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, that we are all priests. Damn. The retrograde almost out though. We are all priests unto ourselves. So I am a minister of justice. I am God's representative. That's what a priest is. And we are taught that we are priests just for ourselves. And so that's my occupation. Priest, minister. You know, you could use minister because it is unisex, right? A woman can be a minister. She doesn't have to be a ministress, right? So I'm a minister. All right. And then it asks you what is your school or your employer? My school and employer is the Moorish Science Temple of America. Not the ones out here running around today under anybody, but the actual one that was established by Jurali, which again is about to be shown in this declaration and explained. So if you wish to see, or as a matter of fact, also chapter 1. Chapter 1 of the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America also teaches its constituent members that we are thoughts of Allah manifested in the flesh and the human flesh, and that we are already full ordained to be the lords of the plane of soul and things manifest. So there's your ordainment. And we also learned that Allah and man are one. So you designed yourself. Because God and man are one. Because the state and the man are one. It's the statement. It's the statesman. All right. Anywho. Briefly, why did Noble Drew Ali upgrade his civic organization into religious? Why? because he understood that religion was the economy of human life. And in order for us to have our own sovereign jurisdiction in dealing with commerce, we had to have a religion. Okay. So my first statement in my affidavit, I am a Muslim, not Muslim. Don't say Muslim. At least don't say it to me. The first statement is, I am a Muslim. Why? We learn in our religious literature that the Muslim is the will of Allah manifest. So that means that the Muslim is what? The principle, yo. The first declaration out your mouth of you being a Muslim is you're telling them that you are the principle. That's what you're telling them. I am a Muslim. Or I am a Christian. Or I am a this or I am a that. That is the title of the members of the organization. They all share that title. I am a Muslim. I'm on equal standing with all other members in the organization. Even if the Grand Sheikh has been elected, he can be pulled. So when you declare your free national name and religion, you're claiming your commercial status. This is what you're doing, if you know. So my first declaration is that I am a Muslim, because the Muslim is the principal, the Muslim is the creditor, the Muslim is the claim that has been made perfected. It is the will of Allah manifest. It is the claim. It is the living. There you go. The word Muslim relates to the living word. This is your living contract. All right? All right. The next declaration. My nationality is Moorish American. Now, you got people out there that say things like, oh, that's not a real nationality. And to them, I say, who cares what you think? Right? So one of my ancestors, my brother, came and recognized and let it be known that this is the identity non pro tonque. Right? Now for then, of our ancestors in the past. Okay? So my nationality is Moorish American. Well, what does that mean? Moorish pertains to the practice of equity, because the word Islam pertains to equity. And so I am the equitable man American. Right? Moorish also pertains to North African descent. Well, why is that important? According to the race and ethnicity, or ethnicity and race identification, if you can see it there, North Africans have white status. Why are we Moorish Americans? Because we are descendant of Moroccans who were here in the Americas, who established their trust in the states here in the Americas, and then had us. And we were born in what is now today America. I have white status here. Look, I have a black person and a white person, which makes me the people gray. I'm perfected. It's blended. I'm not going to amalgamate with anybody else's foreign doctrine that I'm just a debtor or that I'm just a creditor. I am perfected. No, the U.S. is Morocco, is not Morocco, and if you put that in a room again, I'm gonna kick you out. We ain't running with that. The United States is not Morocco. It's not. Morocco can be found in Indiana. You take that sovereign citizen, that more sovereign citizen shit off my page, okay? Anyone saying that the United States is Morocco, that's not sovereign citizenship, whether y'all like it or not, whether you know it or not. The United States is not Morocco. This is not that. This is not that on this channel. We make sure that everybody's equal on this motherfucking channel, yo. Everybody knows that they're free and equal here. Ain't no United States of Morocco. And tell Dula I said so. Fuck out. All right, my next statement. My religion is Islamism. Yes, Indiana. You'll find Morocco in Indiana. I believe you might also find Tunis in Indiana. You'll find Tripoli in Iowa. And you'll find Algiers in Ontario. And this is relevant to the Moorish Science Temple of America's information, which most people who run around talking about Morocco's in Indiana don't use. But this relates to the industrious acts of the Muslims when Drew Ali is showing us that our ancestors were given ran out of the land of Canada or the land of Canaan by Joshua, and we were given permission by the great pharaohs of Utah, because Utah is Judah, right? And the Moabites, which is in Utah, there's a Moab, Utah, were given permission to form themselves kingdoms on all four corners, and they formed themselves kingdoms that are still named to this day Morocco, Tunis, Tripoli, Algiers, and then etc. When we say that our flag has flown over here for 10,000 years or more, it was flying in Indiana, which consequently is Indian. Morocco, Indiana, Moorish Indian. That's where people get the ideology from. All right, so I'm just going to leave y'all alone. The real Israelites, I don't talk about the Israelites. Those are my brothers and sisters, and they can utilize this too, but I'm not an Israelite. I'm a Moabite. Okay, I didn't break the law. The Israelites broke the law. They took Yahuwah over El Elyon. Anyway, let's get back to it. My religion is Islamism. So why am I declaring my religion? Because my religion sets my commercial principles. I just tuned into your channel. The difference between Muslim and Muslim is just the spelling. That is correct. One is an English transliteration. The other is an actual Arabic. Muslim and Moslem are both expressing the Arabic word Muslim, or the Hebraic word Mashalim, or the Aramaic word which Jesus used on the cross, which was Mashalim. But not Muslim. Most welcome. All right. So Islam is the faith, and the ism is the doctrine. This right here sets your commercial stat. So you've been identified as one of the people. You've been identified as the principal. You've been identified as one of the people. And this is the society. This is your trust and faith, will and testament administrative office, your religion. And again, Islam deals with principal equity. And so this is the doctrine of principal equity. This is why we meet in the heart, in the chamber of the heart, where all things are given value, right? Islamism. So now you have expressed that you are a creditor within your organization. And we're going to go to the next one, right? Because you got some people who say, oh, well, you don't know, Drew Ali brought some fake Islam and blah, 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 blah. All right, look. We're mystics over here. We're not boogie woogies over here. We're not believers. We're knowers over here. Okay, hold on. Drew Ali is. Let me just. My next statement. My religious. Notice I said mine. Why? Because I and my brother, father, and ancestor are all one, right? My religious affidavit of organization is filed at Cook County Recorder's Office, Chicago, Illinois, form number 1099. So now, mind you, Drew Ali he filed a 1099 affidavit. Just consider what business is going on here, right? File number 10. 10105905. That's the EIN. And in today's time, you would just add a zero to it because it's an 8-digit number. So Noble Drew Ali filed. He lawfully chartered and incorporated his organization. I don't hear anyone running around here talking about the Shriners are not real. I don't hear anyone talking about the Freemasons organizations are not real. I don't hear anyone talking about the UNIA organization was not real. So please get off the tip of the MSTA. Yeah. All right. So the affidavit of organization. This was also called, Jurali, he printed this out on the back of the pamphlet, the 101 questions. And it says, our authority. It's 10105905. If you wish to look it up. This is the EIN. This would be, so the Moorish Science Temple of America is a person. Okay? And it's one of these persons. It's an organized person. All right? It's a proxy. So this religious authority sets our jurisdiction. Jurisdiction. That's a word that we need to learn, right? So if you are familiar with the Shriners organization, you'll notice that it's defined legally as, the Shriners Temple, the Shriners Temple and its jurisdictions. So this is our jurisdiction to do business nationally and internationally. Okay, so what was my next statement? My founding officer is Noble Drew Ali. Why did I put that? Because this movement will not be recognized without him at the head, as the head. Okay, so remember, we're filling out a claim. This is our affidavit. We're telling the U.S. State Department what we feel they need to know so that they can go and look it up and confirm this information. So you're telling them that you're a Muslim, that you're Moorish American, that you practice Islamism, and then you're letting them know where this information has been recorded and who recorded it. This is your jurisdiction. This is your authority. Okay. This is your jurisdiction. This is your authority. Okay. Okay. All members. All members, we are constituent. Oh, no. We are constituent members of this organization. All members are required to annex religious titles of nobility to given names. All members are required to annex religious titles of nobility to given names. Okay? And then in parentheses, I put pursuant to H.R. 75, 1933. Who knows about the House Resolution 75, which was passed in the House in 1933? What reference is being made here with that implication? So he went to Havana, not Panama. He went to Havana. He went to Cuba. He went to Cuba. He went to Cuba. Anyway, pursuant to House Resolution 75 of 1933, this expresses that the Moorish Americans are recognized as American citizens and that and their religious titles are respected. All right. Y'all just come on to other people's lives and just start saying shit that ain't got nothing to do with it. That's what y'all do here. I gotta start. What I gotta do? I gotta start making subscriptions. See, I like to keep this open for everybody. But then people come in here and y'all get to just saying shit. You're just saying shit. And you're looking for me to answer shit. You know, you can reach out to me. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me. But try to keep your questions relevant to what's going on in the room, please. All right. So, all right. So, again, the annexation of your El, your Bey, your Ali, etc. as your religious title is necessary. Now, why are we putting this on here? Because when you deal with the U.S. Department of State or the Post Office, right, they have certain procedures that they must follow, right? One being that there are no hats to be worn in the picture, right? But there is a provision. We're talking about religion. There is a provision for religious assertion and freedom. And so you're letting them know that this L that is annexed to my name, it is not a name change. It is not a name correction. It's not a legal name change. The name has never changed. There has been an annexation of the creditor title to distinguish that person from the stateless person that does not have the title. Right? The next statement. All members are required to, we'll say this is one, annex religious titles of nobility given to given names. And then two, all members are required to wear fez, turban, what is that? Uralis. I think it's spelled that way. Uralis, niqab, feather crown, crescent moon and star, circle, 7 logos, and all things Moorish. Okay, so now we're telling them what we're here to wear. Now, why are we telling them that? Because, like I was explaining, if you don't identify, like this here, I would be able to wear this in my photo. Because this is not some cool fashion statement. For those who know that, those will know that he's wearing. Oh, that's a shamach. Oh, he's Muslim. This is religious regalia. This identifies me in the culture, right? This is my religious freedom, and just to show you, we'll do this because TT is just so sensitive. All right. Just show y'all. I have my fez on. So I was told, oh, you can't wear that, sir. You can't wear that hat. I said, oh, this isn't a hat. This is my national and religious regalia. If you look at my affidavit, you'll see that all members are required to wear stuff like this in order to identify themselves nationally and internationally. Oh, okay, sir, no problem. I'll just walk this way, and I didn't have to argue with anybody. What you mean I can't wear mine? None of that. None of that. I didn't have to deal. Why? Because I was knowledgeable. I was practical and honorable. I already understood the mission. I know that I have the right to exercise my religious freedom, and I'm identifying this as such. And I know that they must acknowledge. Now, see, I don't have. All right, so. Woo. So now, if I wear this is a hat. This will not be allowed on my passport. This does not have any religious, or for real, any political assertion, affiliation, or association. Not everybody wears this here. Anybody and everybody could wear what I just had on my head. But if you have this on, or you have the shemach on, you're going to be recognized as a Muslim. by somebody. So it stands to show that if you're a Jew or Yehudi, you would wear the yarmulke. No issue. You know, if you're Amish, you would wear whatever, wear. In that respect, I would imagine, but see, the Amish don't get down with the get down anyway, so they don't use it. Anywho, if you are a Christian, let's say you're a nun, you would wear the Hobbit. The Hobbit would be on your pictures. Why? Because you would be seen in the world wearing this. This is not cosplay. This is everyday. This is showing your position or your rank in a society. So that's why I wore my fez, right? And again, the affidavit that you're writing it serves two purposes. It serves the same purpose twice. We'll put it that way. So the first purpose, the purpose that is serving first is with whoever is processing your application, be it the State Department. If you take it right to the State Department, you're fine, right? But no, because they still have to send it. Anyway, you're informing the post official of your rights, so that you can, you can bring to account, like they'll look at it, and be like, hold on, this ID says Brandon Eugene Davis. Do you have anything else that says Brandon Eugene Davis? Oh yeah, I've got this. Oh, well, these are different. No, they're not different. See, here's my student. So like someone who is from the Moorish Science Temple of America, if they still running around using those little business cards, right? That would be sufficient. That and like a state ID and a birth certificate. That would be sufficient because you're showing that the name has not changed. You're just showing that, hey, this is my membership in student ID. And so there's a group of people, there's a society that acknowledges and recognizes me as having this name with this type, right? As well, you're informing them, hey, I have a right to wear this because this is also in association with my religious order. And so that's the first individual or organization that you are addressing. But then it also has to go to the U.S. State Department, and then they may or may not send you a letter telling you something like you can't. You have to show evidence, that you've used this name, and whatever the case may be, or they might say something like, "Hey, you're not. That's not a good photo. You can't wear that." And then again, you would send them the same. This is a notice. You would send them the same affidavit. And in your letter, you would point out to them, I am required by law to wear this fez as national headdress. I am required by law to annex this title to my name, not as a name change. You cleared up your issue. All right, here's the last statement. And this is the phrase that pays, as I say. I am a free national citizen of this free national republic of the United States of America. That was your Pledge of Allegiance right there, that last statement. So you've now pledged as collateral and made the statement of your allegiance to be recognized by name and principle. All right? So this would be written on a piece of paper. It would be signed and dated in front, just like with the passport. It would be signed and dated before the public official. So you're not going to come in with your passport already signed or your application already signed, and your affidavit already signed. You wish to you must sign that before. I mean, they act as notaries, if you will, or witnesses. So you have to sign in front of a legal lawful witness, right? This is all that I did, yo. And I had like the House resolution of 75, right? I sent in a copy of that. The religious affidavit of organization, I sent in that to show them. You know what I mean? I want y'all to see that I'm not just like I'm doing as much of the work for you as possible. I'm handling my affairs. I'm not allowing any presumption. I'm stating the matter of facts for the record. This is your claim. You have filed a claim. And you have received payout. Now, mind you, now you're a union member. Union members pay dues, don't they? Absolutely. You pay your dues up every 10 years. Every 10 years when this runs out, right? You got 10 years. The union is affording you safe passage to do business for 10 years, but it's going to expire. All right? Boom. You have to refile, right? Pay your dues, right? To be recognized in the union, you have to pay your dues, don't you? So I paid $225. That got me the book, the card, and expedited services. I don't have to pay that this next 10 years. I'm going to only pay whatever is necessary for the card and the book. Because again, we're talking commerce, we're talking business. If it was a real person, real people don't expire. Like, please understand that we talking business. We're not talking any of that other shit. We're not here. I'm not here to distract you or to confuse you or to give you so much information without any real qualification so as to allow you to confuse yourself. I'm not here for that. All right. So this is okay. Boom. So now that we have this, how can we operate? The term is constituent member. Boom. So now you're a constituent member of the Sacred Union Society. What does that mean? How does that work? That means that you now have rights, state and federal, state and national, that are enforceable. You have the right to form bills, to draft and to form bills. Because remember, we talking commerce, right? So this whole process that I just explained, if we were to look at the Bill of Rights and we will look at Amendment 4, let me read for you. No person, oh, excuse me, the right of the people are the citizens, to be secure in their persons. That's a secured person, right? A person is a corporation, isn't it? Right? So we could also see this as a secured party. It says the right of the people to be secure in their persons, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. You're not a secured party. And how did you go and fill out the UCC1 financing statement? No. Did you fill out all of these processes and shit? No. I'm secure through my state. Fuck you, me. I'm not foreign. I don't see how being foreign and then uh, expressing that you're foreign or you're not from, and then trying to, in the same breath, claim rights. I don't see how that's um, uh, logical. Makes no sense to me to say, "Hey, I'm not one of the people. Now treat me like I'm one of the people. I'm not a part of the corporation, but I want you to treat me like every other member of the corporation. But you're not a member. Are you a member? Are you a faithful dues-paying member? Um, I'm not sure personally, but if you were to ask me based upon my own research and observation, I would say that yes, the stars are an indicator of the rank which you hold in the society. And if you see, I'm a 5-star general. By name and principle, love, truth, peace, freedom, justice. Same 5 principles you find in the preamble of the Constitution. Okay. So here's another thing that I'm going to, yeah. This is mainly for my Moorish American brothers and sisters. This was a statement made by Drew Ali. He said, don't get rid of your debtor names, just annex your title to it. He didn't use the word debtor, but I don't know if I say the right word. Well, no. He said, don't get rid of your slave names, right? And then he told us why. That we have birthrights under those names. And that we would be paid in full in compound interest. So we would be able to redeem the debits as credits that were being withheld from us when we were acting in a debtor capacity. Today, he also said, he says, some of you Moors will sell your names for a morsel of bread. So when you got people walking around here talking about, oh yeah, that last name Davis, that's a slave name, right? I've had Moors tell me, yeah, just uh, uh, fill out this form, and instead of using the last name, just use L, your title. My prophet told me don't get rid of the name. So if you're out here running around here and you've changed your name, hopefully you haven't changed it on the birth certificate. Hopefully. Right? If you're running around here and your name is like Kent Bay or Amenhotep El Ra Bay El Day or something to that effect, you're not following proper procedure. If you're changing, you have the right to change your name. And you have the right to sue and be sued in any name you choose. But we're talking about filing a claim. If you're changing the name, if the name is changed so much so that it is not recognizable, then the U.S. Department of State will require more information from you. Don't feel no kind of way. And all of that RV Bay or Moorish American Consulate or any other rogue Moorish assertion of nationality, it's not going to help you. Don't change the name on a social security card. Don't change the name on a birth certificate. Either or. But only one is necessary. El or Bay or Ali, whatever the case may be. They all mean the same thing. That's another thing I wanted to touch on. El does not mean from this tribe and Bay from this tribe. All right, so great question. And I'm glad you asked D Green 75. The question is, so how do you operate as the principal and have it active? All right, so leave all old business as it is. Any business that you've been doing in a social security number, you don't change it. You leave it as it is from here on out. You do everything with your passport. Everything. Right? So this is how you're now acting as principal. You sign your name with that principal name. Again, you do business. So with this passport, I am currently employed. I didn't have to use a birth certificate and social. Everything was given off of here, right? Let me see. So do I need a passport or do I just keep everything the same? All right. So I'm going to answer this last question and then I'm going to stop talking to y'all. All right. Do I need a passport or do I just keep everything and get a UCC1 form or a power of attorney? The passport does all of that for you. It does all of that for you. It's already stationed for you. Here's another dumbass question, but I'm going to ask it in the room. Is your passport in all caps or lower? Have you ever seen a passport lower caps? Ever? Should answer your own question. And as a matter of fact, because I don't mean to sound facetious, right? I really don't. Um, what you could do is you could go to the YouTube channel that is in my bio, and you could listen to the lectures that I've given on this information, and that should definitely help you. When I'm done here, this will be reloaded and put on there, and you can catch the portion in the beginning that I know that you didn't catch because you're asking questions that I've already answered. Okay, absolutely. So, no, my passport is not in all caps because it's not identifying the people, it's identifying the character. This is my character. I must be in the game. This is my credit to play the game. And I'm playing as player one, not as myself. So myself is the regular upper lower, but my player or my character, it's all caps. Okay. Most welcome, beloved. Yes, this will be on YouTube. All right. So what I was speaking about is that I'm employed under my passport. I know that I have a high level of clearance, background clearance. I know this for a fact because when during the hiring and orientation and whatnot, um, I was going through litigation at the time, and the personal information never showed up. I was never questioned as to, well, what's this on here saying that you have these summary offenses, blah blah blah. That's the first thing that I know. That's how I know that it's a secured person. Secondly, when I got my income tax statement back, no federal taxes were taken out whatsoever. Whatsoever. Right? And so the understanding would be that anytime you're applying and they say give your social security number, I would say give your passport number instead. Unless you're dealing with the Social Security Administration via through the U.S. Department of State, etc. They require that information. But no one else is supposed to get that Social Security number. So you would act on that passport or that national identification information. And everything is already ready already. So I have been researching this and I'm going to find out because I'm a scientist and I need to experiment and see how things work, right? I don't just take what someone tells me, right? I like to review, right? So it has come to my attention that in issues of traveling, relative to traveling, when you give your passport information and they run it, it says that it's basically to operate or to act as an international traveler's or driver's permit within their system matrix, right? So it's exercising your freedom or your right to travel. Another thing, and that's exactly why I brought this up. Right. It has been brought to my attention that when you purchase a firearm with your passport the correct way, and then let's say for whatever reason, right? Let's say that we'll use an example like something that happened the other day. Some dog got out and you saw the dog and the dog was in the neighbor's yard and it was shaking up your neighbor's dog, right? And your neighbor was there trying to beat the dog up, right? And your neighbor is placing herself in harm's way and you have your gun and you shoot that dog in the head, right? Pardon, right? The officers are going to have to take your gun, right? No problem. And they're going to have to run the information. No problem. And what's going to come back on their side is that you are let me say it correctly, lifelong open and concealed permit weapons carrier. Now, you know it is not a permit, it is a right to bear arms. But in the system, into the public, it is going to register as the permit, as the privilege. Now, how many lifelong open and concealed carriers do you know? Lifelong. It's exercising your Second Amendment right. You see what I'm saying? So you would operate, you would do all business, any type of contracts that you're dealing with, particularly when you need to use that information, you use that state ID. You use that national ID, excuse me. So you now have your international driver's permit. Because they love to tell you you can't drive with a passport. This is my international driver's permit. Run it through your system. And then sometimes they'll run it through the system and then still violate. And then it's up to you to know these things so that you can, you don't argue with them, right? You just go and you redeem, right? As I'm doing myself. I'll let y'all know May 12th, after this hearing is over, I'll be able to give you all an inside explanation as to what's going on, how I'm applying this as a national citizen, as a sovereign people of the state. Right? So Drew Ali told me, leave all old business as it is, do all new business in your free national name. So that's how you would operate with it. Right? If you're opening up any accounts, you use that passport. You don't use that social. Okay? Most welcome, most welcome, most welcome. Let me see here. So do you hate any of your bills? Yeah. I don't understand the question, D Green. But anyway, so I'm going to recap, right? Because I find myself answering questions that I'm not here for. And if you respect the content, then you won't be out here seeking free information that I'm not giving for free. You'll pay me for my time because the servant's worthy of his hire. If you have these questions and you would like me to speak specifically on those questions, you need to get at me and then we can do some business. So I'm giving it away for free. Take what I'm giving you. But don't ever assume that I'm here to work for free. Because again, this is about business. No business is free. Free business is no business. All right? This is me. This is my contribution. What I'm doing on this page, trying to give you this information. If you want to step by step on anything, yo, pay me. Word. So we're going to recap. Or at least offer. I mean, shit. It's all about consideration. At least make an offer. Who knows? I might say, you know what? It's cool, I got you. But if you come to me asking me all these questions thinking that I'm going to just give you all this free info, I don't know where your mind's at. I really don't understand it. You're not offering me anything. All right. So, what were we talking about? The concept of national sovereignty. And its practical application. And lastly, If you're going to treat me like your servant, you got to pay me. That's the whole point of getting to this state of being the principal, right? Of correcting your status from from that of someone who just works without payment to that which works and requires compensation. Okay. What's that? Shh. Islam, peace and love, mashallah, mashalom kha to the Ibri. And I appreciate that. All right. So we were dealing with the concept of sovereignty and its practical application. And I'm informing you, I have informed you, you can get past all them gurus with all of the W8 bands and 9/8s and all of that, and, birth certificate authentication and, apostille and, doing all of that shit. UCC 15, you can get rid of all. You can get none of that applies to this right here. If you're doing all of that to get to this position, you're doing that, you're coming from a foreign concept. The concept that I'm giving to you is that you're not foreign. I'm not a foreign national. I'm an American national. I'm a citizen of this state and a member of these unions. Professor Brandon Davis Ali. So if you go to my profile, my TikTok profile, you'll see that I have my website, and then it says one more. If you go to the one more, you'll see that it's the YouTube. All right. So the instruction is to declare your nationality in order to be recognized as we're looking to be the principal or the equitable party. You're correcting your status, your state, your estate, and your standing. You are correcting it so that it asserts the principal character. Okay? Appreciate y'all for coming. Right now, I'm going to take a quick, maybe 5-10 minutes or so. If we have any questions, I could bring you up and we could speak. Because if y'all haven't noticed, I'm not a fan of reading off of the page, because it takes away from what I'm doing up here on the board when I do so. If you have any questions that you would like to come up, put a one in a room or shit, send the request. I'll bring you up. Let's keep our questions short, basic, right, and honorable. We got about 5 minutes. If I don't see anyone bringing us up into the room, then I'm going to go ahead and close out. Gratitude to you all as well. Okay, I don't see anybody jumping in. All right. Still, I said, let me give it a few more minutes. Give it all to you. I don't want to talk to you. You don't get to talk to me. When do you get to? So you're So I'm glad that you make mention. So the notary process, um, uh, the notary process is done through the officer. So like when you go to the post office, right, with your form, right, they're going to have you sign your U.S. Department of State form in front of them. They are acting as a notary. They're acting as a witness. So that's why you wouldn't sign. That's why I made reference that you would not sign um, until you standing before a public servant, a public official who is going to witness, your claim. So you don't need a notary in this instance. You don't need a notary because they're acting as a notary. Does that make sense? Righteous? Yeah. Tony Bay, I ain't got no answers for you here. You got some money for me? We could talk all about that. If you want to bypass a mortgage, you could talk to me. It's doable with your passport if you do everything with your passport instead of your social security. You know, if you want to, you wish to bypass a mortgage, you got to pay me for that information because I didn't bring that information up in the room. All right, anybody else? Any other questions? Sure, no problem. All right. If nobody else is going to come up, if there's no more questions relative to the topic of today, absolutely, Maurice, absolutely. That's the only way to do it. I was signing, I was signing Brandon Davis L from the moment I came into this movement in 2012, 2013. I didn't get my passport until 2022. And the fact that everything that I've done business within that name, right, when it came time, for me to get the passport or whatnot, there was evidence of at least 5 years or more of me using that name. So you see what I'm saying? I would imagine that you would sign first name, last name, title from here on out. From here on out, because you're asserting who you are. You're not allowing someone to tell you who you are, and then you're not changing your name. So there's evidence that you're not operating fraudulently. You're not trying to get away from the name. You have an assumed name. This is the name with title. This is the name. This is the name with title. So I would encourage you, if you got a driver's license, a state ID, anything, you sign with your name and title. Islam, Brother Bay. I just have to say I'm so grateful for your wisdom. I've learned a lot, and I know I have a lot of Islam. Well, that's what I'm here for. I appreciate the vibe. Do we need to put without prejudice and stuff like that? Now that you've claimed the name, man. So I did make mention of that. I'll show you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Here, fuck it. Why not? Give me a second and I'll write it in. That way you can see it. So you can put it there like that, right? You could do it now, or when just don't sign it. The whole understanding is that you're not to sign this unless you're in the presence of a notarizing official. So you can put without prejudice up there and then sign it in front of them. Or you could do it like I did. I already had it there. So when it was time to sign, I just signed it in front of the official. It's really up to you. But when you have this, this is without prejudice regardless. You know. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Appreciate the love, y'all. That's what's up. That's what's up. What's up? As well, for those of you who would like to um, keep up with me whenever I go live, just go to my channel, go to my page, click the bell. I believe there's a bell somewhere on the page, and that will notify you every time I am inspired to give you this information. All right, you all. I appreciate you all for coming. This will be on the YouTube within the hour. Peace and love. And as always, I'm just your brother, man, coming to show you the way to being the principal. Peace and love. Hope you enjoy.